Hello guys, G is back with another episode of poker. Playing 2550 again. Sorry for the longer break. I just had no time because of my studies. And yeah, we are back with the same amount of money, of course. Yeah, trying to play Hold'em and win some money. Obviously, today I want to talk about the turn. I think the turn is the most important betting round because the most money will go in, except for the river, of course. But the turn is more like a decision round where you really want to either fold or make a decision to stay in the hand. Sorry. So I mean, if you have like a flush draw, you can almost always call the flop with a flush draw, because it's not too expensive. Like it's here 263 and he's betting 175. You can always call that with the flush draw. But on the turn, it's getting expensive, and then you have to think: do you want to put in more money, and are the odds and the implied odds correct for you to make the call? And then maybe you have to make another call on the river. I mean, not with a flush draw, of course, but if you have like one pair, you always have to think about what the pot size will be on the river, and what you will have to call in the river to have a showdown. Because most of the time you won't win without a showdown if you call the turn. So yeah, I mean the fourth card is the most important of all betting rounds. And there is where most players lose money, I think. They either stick in the hand and can fold, or they are not betting their hand correctly, or they're just calculating the implied and pot odds not correct, or maybe they don't even know about implied odds. I don't know. So you always have to be aware of what your opponent holds to make a good decision on the turn, and calculate that into your decision, because if your opponent maybe is weak, you could bluff him on the river, and you have to take that percentage of him being bluffed on the river by you into account when making a decision. You can't just ignore that, because you can win the pot that way, and you often have to bluff to win. So you have to consider all the odds, not just if you hit your hand or something else. So after 3 minutes, we receive our first hand. It's a pair of sevens, which is nice to start with. Let's just see if the guy raises. Don't really have a read on him yet. There's another call, so you can easily make that call. I'm gonna call that. I hope he doesn't raise. That's nice. Now we have a gut shot straight draw. He's betting 2 again. And there's a king. I think I'm good. I don't know to value bet. Let's just check here. Ace 4. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I thought it was good most of the times, but this is a small stack. If I had made a value bet, I have to go all in, because otherwise I would have to call him anyways. I didn't really want to do that on the first hand without having a read. Maybe he had like 8 something. That's a bad card. Let me get something to treat. So, of course, all the betting rounds are important, but you always have to think about how much money will be in the pot at one single round. So you can have a pot control, like pre-flop. It will never go higher than 1 bet if you're just against one opponent, if you don't want to. So you can basically just call and then have 2 bets in the pot with the blinds. On the flop, if you just call again, heads up, there will only be 6 bets in in the pot on the turn, and then it's getting expensive. Then there's 18 already on the river. So let's just call this. He's limping on the gun. Don't really like this, but I have position on 3 guys, and there's some money in. He's now raising. Let's just see if he calls. I might too. Yeah. Let's just see what the flop brings. Well, that's too bad. But maybe we can take it away from him. No, he's betting. I have to fold because he's behind me. If he checked, I would have checked, and then he might have bet. He would have folded probably, and then I could have re-raised him. But with that action, it's too bad. If I just call, then he's gonna raise or call, and I have nothing, and don't want to risk that. So you see now the pot is already 1361, which is like 1/4 of a buy-in at these stakes. Though it's getting really expensive. Of course, he's making very low bet, but he's now raising, so the turn is really expensive. And now it's 36, so he can basically go all in. So he had to think about calling his last 21 off when calling the turn. Or maybe he had a flush draw and just wanted to hit, but ace 5, ace deuce. So he raised his ace deuce suited. Let's just call this low stack. I don't think he has anything. Raising one of the gun, I don't know. Can't lose too much here. Just see what happens. I have an open-ended straight draw and a backdoor flush draw. Straight flush draw even. That's not too nice. Open-ended is quite good against 4 players with no flush draw. So I will pretty much have to bet this. Let's just bet 3. He's calling. A little bit worried about that. Maybe he has a jack. Oh, min raise. I will have to call this, of course. I could even raise. That's a bad card. No, I mean, it's not a bad card, it's just not the card I wanted. 5, it's very cheap, let's just call. Nothing. I don't think he has very much. Let's just raise. This is not a very believable story, but I have to raise this. Yeah, that was stupid. Yeah, Jack 10, but he's betting so low. Though I thought he might have just ace high, with like a gut shot or something. So this is obviously a fish. I think we can win our money back, and I will have to rebuy. Oh, he's min raising again. Just call once. Maybe a 2 pair again. 5. Let's make a rebuy. Oh no, I hate this. Why isn't it on add to full stack? So yeah, played a little bit bad against him there. Now I know that he's fishy, small better with top 2. Fish color is yellow blue. Let's call this. Then I have a gut shot. Not too excited, but I mean with this flop, no, the 8 hits. I would have tried to bluff it if like a low card came. But now I have a 7. Just bet 2. I think I have the best hand, or maybe a split with another 7. No. I really like to want to play against him. Show you some nice turn plays where I don't play as bad as before in the hand against him. Well, I mean, it was unlucky for me not to hit it straight against his low bets. I could have really punished him there because he was calling anyway with top 2. Now I'm making a straight with 4 cards to flush. Oh, this guy is really lucky. I wish I could rebuy more, like, to his stack. I think I can pound him in one hand. Just need to get lucky when he's betting so low. Because he's calling 20 on the river, but just betting 5 before. So he's basically selling me the card for 5, and then if I hit something, he's gonna call 4 times the money he got before. So this is a really good value for me to draw against him. Because it doesn't look like he wants to fold. It's almost like he wants you to hit something. I wouldn't recommend this. Betting low and then calling a big raise all the time. I mean, people will only bluff you once this way. They're probably gonna draw against you and hit something, and then while you bet your money out of you. Of course, no one wants to play against my 9s. 7-9 again. Well, it's just 4-handed, so I'm taking control of the game now. Against him I want to play every hand almost, and I don't know, these guys look kind of tight to me. So I want to take the money. I hit the middle pair. Heads up, I'm almost always assuming I'm good until somebody raises or bets into me or something. So you always want to bet when you hit heads up. When you hit 1 card heads up, I mean. So yeah, let's talk about some more odds. If you have like an ace-10 here, you want to call almost any bet. Let's raise this. With a jack-9 8, you always want to call the flop. I mean, you can hit an ace on the turn and a 7 and a queen, giving you 11 outs, I think. If I didn't miscalculate, yeah, 11 outs. And on the turn, you really have to start thinking, because you just see one more card and it's more expensive. And you can't take all the money that your opponent has as implied odds. You're never going to get, or let's say, you never for 100% get all his money. So there are no hands where it goes in 100% all the time. You can just calculate like, oh, it's 50%, he's going to call me down. That's a nice flop. Just bet him here. I don't think he wants to continue with this flop. And if he does, I'm continuing to bet. Because you really only can call with like a good ace or a small pair, or like any pair, pocket pair. So I want to continue these very draw flops, like 10-10-10, or like a pair and a low card or something. Let's just check. Yeah, my biggest pot one was like $12 right now. It's not really supreme. I win all the small pots. I would like to play a big one against him. So you see here it's $10 on the turn. So it's basically, if you call now, you have to call everything on the river. Where it's almost all in, and with these small stacks, I mean, he's even got only $12, so he's basically all in with a turn already. So what you don't want to do is call pre-flop, call on the flop, call the turn, and then fold the river. That's really the worst that you can do. He's jack king queen, call himself all in with king queen. It's pretty bad. Let's raise the blinds just for position. And we have a king, but this is a really bad kicker. He's raising. Let's just give it to him. he caught us there, so I'm not willing to put any more money on this king 3. I might re-raise if I think he's bluffing, but he has played very tight against me up until now, so I'm not gonna assume anything right now. Yeah, and the turn isn't only about not losing, not losing money. It's also about getting the most money out of your opponents, because they are aware of you betting there means that they have to call the river as well, maybe, and you have to always think about what your opponent is going to call with the hand he has, and what you can get out of him on the river, and then think about giving him bad odds for his hand, but not like incredible bad odds. Like, if you think he is a flush draw, just bet like 80% of the pot. Just don't go 150% or something. No, he's too short stacked. Otherwise, I would have raised him. So poker is about laying your opponent's bad odds. Let's raise this. So they just call and lose money this way, but that you get some calls, of course. I hit an 8. Well, he called. I'm not too excited, but let's just keep betting because I raised him. Probably gonna reply if he has an ace. Would be unfortunate right now. No, he's folding, which is good. Just take it down. Let's hold this one. Ace 10, pretty nice hand, 600. He's short stacked. I don't want to raise him and then have to make a decision for his whole stack. Pre-flop with ace 10. Just let's see what the flop brings, and then we continue from there. I'd rather play some flops, and not push all in pre-flop all the time. I mean, you can do that, of course, and push them around pre-flop, but with these stakes, most of the people just push everything in. Do I want to try to bet it? I think I do. I don't think anyone has anything really great. Maybe a flush draw or 9. I don't think anyone has a big hand here. 2 checks already, and just the guy on the button could have anything, like Jack 10, Queen Jack or something. Let's keep raising. I don't like folding and checking all the time. I like to play a lot of hands and raise almost all the time and bet. So that's not what you have to do in the beginning. You might just want to be a little bit tighter and play the good hands you have, like in good position, like Queen Jack on the button, suited or something, and upwards. Like any pair you want to raise, of course. Yeah. Good aces in position. Don't call with bad aces from the small or big blind, because that often gets you into problems. Rather raise with them if there's a raise on the button or on the cutoff, then just raise in the blinds if you have a bad ace. And either he folds or he doesn't, and then you have to reevaluate on the flop if you think he's weak or not. Just don't call and then an ace hits and you don't know where you're at and have to call to the river and then lose. Just fold this. So we are still down some, like 17, I think. Oh, no, he's gone. That's too bad. Oh, there isn't really any easy or very easy money on the table. I mean, he's short stacked, but it's just 1850. She looks kind of cute. Probably is a man from the Netherlands. Let's just raise him again for fun, because I raised him last time he did this. And they called, and yeah, no, he's not gonna call. I was hoping that. But next time I should probably have a decent hand if I raise him. And then he might go crazy and re-raise. Where are the players from? Hungary, Canada, Portugal, United Kingdom, Netherlands. Basically everything. And everywhere. Come on, show us some turns. Call. I want to talk about the turn, not just show brief flop play. That's pretty boring. And fold. Pair of fives here, five-handed. Even under the gun, it's a clear raise. You're not gonna be behind too often with a pair. And even then you can hit something. I'm almost always calling a re-raise before the flop if I have a pair. Because you're gonna hit your set like 1 out of 8 times. Now he's raising. I don't want to re-raise with queen 10. That's not that bad of a flop. I can hit a jack, I can make backdoor diamonds, and I could even have the best hand with queen high and ace king. So heads up, I want to call this. That's a bad card. Would have liked another diamond or something. Oh, he's checking. Let's bet a little bit smaller. I don't want him to think that I'm bluffing all the time. I want him to think that I just got lucky. Maybe he just wanted to check raise. No. Yeah, I thought so. He might have raised with a jack 9 or something. Maybe he had the same hand. As I had, I mean queen 10. Could be possible. I don't think he had an ace or king. He wouldn't have folded that. Or he's like really bad. I have a pair, so obviously I have to raise, even though I don't like deuces a lot. Straight flush draw, let's just raise 150. Just bet 150. There's another high card. I still think I'm ahead most of the times here, him having just a single heart. There's another deuce. I will check for a bluff maybe, and he lost. Yeah, I thought so. That I was ahead, so I just wanted to check this. Yeah, he just had a single heart. King of hearts, so he had to call basically with the nut flush draw heads up. Blind versus blind, I'm always calling, of course, and it wasn't too expensive. 4 of hearts would have been nice. He made the nut flush and I had the straight flush. He would have made the nut flush, sorry. That would have been nice, but yeah, would have been a cooler, so. All this. So, as you've seen before, he really kept the pot very small, just called twice, no, 3 times in a row. So it was just 12 bucks on the river, which is basically the minimum if I always bet 3 times of the pot. And it's still 25% of your stack, so even if you just call until the river. No limit is tends to get expensive until the river. I'm gonna raise him if anyone's raising, I'm raising. So yeah, no one wants to take that down. Fine with me. We're almost back to our original money. Only gonna call that if at least one other player calls. Yeah. Doesn't happen. Let's fold it. 7 jack. Sorry, I have to drink a lot speaking. Clear fold. Let's raise with the A10. Because there's not a lot going on, not a lot of action, not a lot of calls. So I tend to downgrade my starting hands a lot. I'm pretty much raising any connected cards right now that are higher than like 6 or 7. I mean, you can just easily pick up 75 cents, which is almost 1% of your buy-in. So if you do this like 10 times, you can calculate yourself that you just got 10% of your stack. I want to call this with a king 7 suited. Also, I wouldn't recommend this out of position. And yeah, no, I don't really like it. There are 2 hearts, and he could easily have a jack, and then I'm in really bad shape. Also, I had an open hand. So I'd rather like to fold there. I just spent $1 to see the flop. So it's basically an easy fold. It's just the down part of an open-ended straight draw. Let's call this on the button. I like the jack 9 a lot. Gut shot. We'll call once. Maybe bet the turn or raise the turn. I don't know. Depends on what hits. I would like to see the turn. I mean, he's not gonna believe me a lot anymore, I think. He's checking. Let's try once more. I can still hit a queen if he calls. And he looks really like he has nothing. I would maybe give him a 10. It's just bet 13. Maybe a 10. It's the best I can give him right now. King jack. Yeah, that was it was kind of surprising that he checked the king there. Maybe he wanted wanted me to bet, so he kind of played it nice. Let me bet, let me hang myself. It's just jack high. But I had to try. I mean, he folded like 3 or 4 times before when he checked the turn. And it wasn't too expensive. But maybe he was just doing pot control. Don't really want to bet this. Just bet 150. Okay. It's not a really decent flop for my hand, and a lot of hands hit a queen jack. Like king 10, jack 9, jack 10, queen something, queen king, ace queen. Almost everything hits the queen jack. Aces in the big blind, and there's a raise on the gun. And the call. This is nice. Maybe another call. Nope. Let's make it 550. Instant fold, that's bad. He's not gonna raise. Maybe gonna call. Yeah. And there's a set. I do want to continue and bet this. It's 750. Don't want to check. Also, I know he doesn't have anything. Yeah. There are 2 diamonds, and I'm not gonna check this. But it's very unlikely that he hit anything there with me having the top set. Could have had ace queen or like some sort of ace, or maybe a queen or 2 diamonds or something and re-raised, but it's very likely that he just, as he had, just folded and had nothing. So one could argue to check there and induce a bluff. But yeah, I don't know. Never know where you are in the hand if like a straight and flush hits on the turn. You don't know if he has made 2 pair or straight flush, something like that. So, and you probably won't even get money out of him if you check once. He's not gonna hit a miracle set on the turn all of a sudden. At least it's very unlikely. So I'd rather argue for betting your hands than to check and use some sort of bluff or something. Except for the river, if you know the guy has a flush or had a flush draw and didn't make it, or a straight draw and didn't make it, then of course you have to either bet low and hope to induce a raise, or just check and let him bluff. That's a better setup. Wow, we got there. Yeah. I wouldn't check the flop. I mean, it was a lot of money already in the pot, but I wouldn't recommend to check there. Especially if it's a small pot, I wouldn't recommend to check and lose more money on the turn and river if he hits some miracle, like a straight or flush or something. I'm almost liking to bet in this situation. I mean, I'm for betting, as I said before. Just try to bet your hands all the time, and then your bluffs will get through more often. If you just check your hands and don't bet them, and then bluff with a lot of money, it's more obvious than if you just bet, and then bluff. People won't know the difference then. And yeah, try to make the betting amounts the same when bluffing, and you can change the amounts, but you have to change it for both, for value bets and for bluffs. You can just change it for bluffs, for example. You can just make an overbet on the river when you're bluffing, and not make these kind of overbets when you're making a value bet. This is where Tom Dwan actually is pretty decent. He tends to do it both ways. He is overbetting when he hits the nuts, as well as when he is bluffing. So you never know where you're at. And this is a bad flop for my hand. And he called. Yeah, that's pretty nice. I like the fold there. I mean, I had a gut shot and an overcard, but with 3 diamonds, my hand is pretty much dead. Gonna fold this. I have to get the third water bottle because they were both pretty empty. Wait a second, it's a little bit in it. So, I'm gonna raise here. I would have wanted to re-raise him as well because I have position and he won the last hand against me. And I think he won't believe me a lot. So I want to re-raise, try to hit, and then bet all the money. If I run against him and he's calling a re-raise, I want to get all his money, of course. He paid the blind, I think. So let's try to rate it. I didn't actually look at it, but it looked like he was just paying. Because he missed last round. I'm not really sure, but if he limped it, it's pretty much the same. I want to raise him. I don't think he's limping with aces or something, so yeah, that works out. At least you shouldn't with his stack limp with aces. You should try to raise and have like three or four callers at best, and then him raising and then re-raising. Then you have a lot more money in the pot, and he will almost always call you with your small stack. So he's re-raising. This is the second time, but 275. Wow, into 1025. So I'm getting pretty decent odds, even if I'm running against an overpair. I have an open ender, but King Queen already made. I have to call this. It's 2 into 1442, but he's gonna raise like 70 to 90% of the times. I still have to call, hoping that he just has nothing. 550 into 2942. Let's just call this once. That's the bad card. Maybe he already has King Queen, but I doubt it. This is re-raise. He might have Ace Jack. Nope. He's gonna re-raise again. Might have Ace Jack, Ace King. Yeah, he's gonna re-raise big now. King 3. Oh, wow, he had the King Queen already. And I would have made a straight as well. Oh, that was pretty cheap, just 550 on the flop. And of course a 450 pre-flop, but it was just 275 into 10 or something. And I had the right odds. he had king queen, he had 2 overcards. So I wasn't behind a lot. And he had king 3, so they were sharing 1 card. I must have been like 35% against both of them. He was like 20 something, and he had the rest. Just a guess, I'm not so sure about this. Just raise here. So he re-raised us with a king queen. So it's time to re-raise him back if he's re-raising me the next time. Because queen queen isn't really a re-raising hand. I mean, it's 6-handed, but still. You can run into way better hand than king queen. Ah, he's doing it now. Let's just see if he really wants to. Last time it was king queen, maybe now it's ace jack or something. I wouldn't really give him, yeah, you see. I wouldn't really give him anything better right now. He's raised me, re-raised me 3 times, so I have to fight back there. You have to fight against these players that are re-raising you all the time. You can't just fold with an eighth on the button all the time. That will be stupid. Because you have to take the odds. How often is he gonna have the better hand than yours? I mean, you can get unlucky and he has like aces, kings, jacks, the 3 hands. But still you have to try to re-raise him. You don't have to go all in, but you have to try to re-raise him at least once. And this is a pretty safe flop for a continuation bet. Even though I have nothing, it's pretty safe. And I have 2 overcards in case he wants to call. I can still hit something. So there's not a lot going on. Like in the last video, there was a lot of action. A lot of cash flow. I didn't really notice it in the video, but it was like cash flow of like 750 or something in 1 hour. Which is pretty much insane at 25.50 cents. And now we have an ace. And we take it on. So we were all in $200 pots like twice or 3 times in 1 hour. And there were a lot of small pots as well. And yeah, it was really, really nice to record it and to win the money. I would have loved to win the big one as well, but you can't wish for these things all the time. You have to take what you get. Let's just look at it. No. Didn't really want to look at the stats, just wanted to look at. We have ace 10. Sorry, wrong button. Still, we are only winning the small pots. Look at this. Winning a lot of small pots, but we're still not down a lot. 450. I want to fold the ace 10 out of position here against a raise and a re-raise from this guy. And I haven't seen him re-raising a lot. I mean, he's on the button. You could easily do that with the worse hands than ace 10, but I don't want to risk it with ace 10 to re-raise him and then, I don't know, out of position. It's just bad. So we are winning the small pots. I mean, I'm fine with winning small pots. If there are a lot of them, you can make money this way as well. But at the moment, we are still losing $13. But that's okay, losing like $13 in one session when you're winning 200 in the next one. It's super fine with me. That's a nice hand, and I love, especially under the gun, I love these hands because the opponents aren't putting you on these hands if you go all in on the flop or turn. Like they're thinking, oh, that he has aces and I have 2 pair, nice call, and then you show them like a flush or a straight, and this is a pretty nice flop for my hand. I have a gut shot to the nuts and flush draw as well, and I raised under the gun, so they're probably thinking I have ace king and maybe even folding right now. Wouldn't want to see a re-raise, but a call is fine with me. And they're folding, so that worked out quite well. I mean, I could have gone all in with his hand, but I don't like pushing draws. Like, if he had a king, I'm only 50-50. I'm gonna call this top pair and think I'm good like 90% of the times here. But I wanna have a bet. I wanna have a continuation bet. And there's a 10, and there's this bet, but that's why you don't check flops. Should always bet him. Now he's re-raising to 8. Can pretty much only have a 10. I don't think it's a bluff. Let's just fold it. It was a bad play of my part. Should have bet the flop. Calling out of position here just because he called. It's a 3-way pot. I wouldn't do that heads up. Don't think anyone has anything just yet. Probably my king high is good, but somebody might have an ace. That's a nice card. Well, I can bet. What is he thinking about? Hopefully he has queen jack. Nope. Always moving around at 70 bucks. Can't really make any money. So there are too few turns for us. We have to see more turns. Because remember, that's where you win the money. I'm gonna call this again. Don't want to raise, really. Can only get a re-raise and then have to fold. I like to play a flop with these hands in position. Because I think I can take all the flops where no one hits anything and the ones where I hit anything. And now he's re-raising. And I think he's just stealing. I really do. I really do think he's just stealing. He's seeing 455 bucks. Okay. That's nice. Now we see if he's stealing or not. I would have probably called him. Yeah. I was right. He was stealing. I would have called him and I would have stuck with any pair. Like a jack or 8 or like some sort of draw I would have pushed. Because I really thought he was stealing. I don't like re-raising with the bear jack 8 pre-flop. I like to make this play on the flop. If I have like something or if really there's nothing on the flop, then I could make a play against him. Where I don't think he hit anything. Rather than him having like maybe ace jack and then calling my all in pre-flop. It's almost always better to make a bluff at the flop than pre-flop, I think. It depends on the flop structure, of course. If there is like a flush draw and a lot of high cards, I wouldn't recommend bluffing with no outs at all. But with like deuce 4 or 7 or something, you can bluff with a jack 8. At best, he's gonna have like 2 9s or something, and then you can still hit a jack or make like running straight cards or like something else. I mean, it probably would have worked if I re-raised him pre-flop with a jack 8 because he insta-folded against this guy's 10 bucks, 10 buck raise. But still, I like a multiplayer flop. But this is just my opinion. You can do that as your liking is. Wouldn't really say that one or the other way is a wrong move. Call. With these kinds of hands, I love a lot of players in the pot, in the hand. 299, 7. He's raising a lot. But I can't do anything about it right now. He can fold all the time. He has to stand up. Yeah. Now we see what he's about. Yeah, he's really raising a lot, and Maybe he had a 10 there or something. %40 of a royal flush, ladies and gentlemen. He's calling. I think I have the best hand, king high, with a pair. He's calling, but I think he's just calling for me to check the turn. Not really because he has anything. But let's see. Maybe I'm wrong. I have been wrong before. He's still calling. Let's just check this. Maybe he really has a jack. I doubt it somehow. Somehow doubt that he has anything. 1050. Do I want to call this? What could he have? I mean, that I can beat. Not really a lot. But it looked like he had nothing all the time. It really looked like he has like maybe 7-8 or something. But I want to let this go. Maybe he had a 6 or a jack. I don't know. I would have definitely called if I had a pair, like hit a 5 or had like ace king high or something. But with the king you never know, he might have just ace high. That would have been really stupid to call $10 with king high and lose against ace high. Let's just re-erase him again. I haven't done this in like 5 rounds. Just fold. Fold or play to the turn, and then fold. Wow, he's thinking a lot. Maybe there's a re-raise coming. Nope, just a call. And we hit a pair of 3s. I don't know, maybe he has ace jack, ace queen, medium pair. Maybe he has nothing, and he's folding. Well, that's what you don't want to do. Call, re-raise, and then have to fold all the time. You should fight back and like re-raise with nothing with air on the flop. I mean, I wouldn't have continued with the 3 if he had re-raised big. So, of course he doesn't know what I have. But you have to fight back. You can just call all the re-raises and hope you hit a miracle or top pair every time. And then, I mean, you won't get any more money out of me if you're up front, only if you're behind. So, not gonna win money that way. It's really all about being aggressive and bringing your opponents to lay their hands down. And know when to be aggressive, of course. Like not what I did before against the guy that was sitting over here, raising 4 times. I mean, it was a bad move. There were no scare cards, and that was just bad. I just thought he was so weak that he folded, but he was super strong and just decided to make small bets. And I'm back almost 70 again. Just 11 minutes left for us to make a comeback. Seems like we only can win the small pots today. I mean, look at this. We didn't win one pot over $12. We're still only down $9. Not really getting super strong hands here either. And this is insane. We won a lot of pots, but only the small ones. What's going on here? Raise, re-raise. What do you want to do? AJKH22. Fold. Yeah, we're a little bit caught dead at the moment. I can't even look at the last hands. 4 deuce, 7 9, deuce 8, 7 king, 8 deuce, deuce 9. That's better. Come on, somebody call. I like players in the hand with these hands. And then we hit absolutely nothing. 220. I don't think he has anything. Maybe I'm wrong. I thought he would check the turn there. I'm not super sure what he had. Maybe he had ace 10. Just got there on the flop. Let's try it again. That's not a too bad flop. Now we have position, so... Oh, come on, let me hit one straight or something. Yeah, he's checking, but that doesn't really mean a lot. He could have 10. Nope. Fold. Insta-fold. Now we get jacks. We haven't seen too many turns either. Like last hand, and then... I don't know. A lot of small pots. Wasn't too exciting on the turn. Let's just call this. Because he's re-raising a lot, so... Yeah, maybe that's an argument for both ways. Raise him and hope he's re-raising again or something, but him raising on the gun and then re-raising. Wow, 9. I think I want to push now. Let's just see what he does. If he calls, I'm gonna push. Ace king, okay, it's a flip. Wow, no 10. Nice. We got our money. And I've reached something. I want 10 bucks more. That's nice. Yeah, well, with him having ace king was a no-brainer. All the money went in anyways. That's a nice flop. Even though it doesn't have a heart, I have an open-ended straight draw. Oh, misclicked. I wanted to hit that 4 times, not twice. Oh, he's gonna call me with a king 7 and hit his king on the turn. That's just bad, a little bit bigger. Yeah, the king was really a safe card here. I didn't really think he would take that long calling with the king on the flop. Like, with what king do you think that long? If you have a king, queen, king, jack, ace, king, it's an easy call, $1. And with any hit, like king 9, king 10, it's an easy call. And then, what are you gonna have? Queen, jack is an auto call, or even raise. So the king wasn't really a scare card when he thought so long for $1 on the turn, on the flop, sorry. Really have to think about that as well. What does your opponent have, and is the card a good one for you or for your opponent as well? It's really important. I mean, you could always be faking or like being AFK or multi-tabling, so you can't always assume the information is 100% correct that he took so long. But with him not raising and just calling $1, that's a giveaway. It tells you something about his hand, that it's not very strong. Is there another re-raise? Nope. Come on, give me a free card. I would love to see a 10 king queen. Or maybe even an ace. Anything's better than this. Come on, just check. Nice. Now I'm gonna bet it, because either I'm ahead or... I mean, there's no jack, I think. Maybe he got one and just wanted to check it to be sure it's the best hand, but I don't think any of these guys has anything. Maybe a 5 or a really bad 8. Yeah, now he's re-raising. Okay, I would have thought about calling him, because I think he's making a play against me again. But with him calling, and with him going all in, okay, thanks. Whatever, I started 350, 10, 10, 41 for a $5 pot. What's going on? Yeah, he was making, or at least he doesn't have a super strong hand. He doesn't have neither, maybe he had a flush draw. So he was making a play, he had a flush draw, and he probably had pocket 3s or something, and went crazy there. I don't know. Maybe he just wanted to steal. That would have been a nice play if he just had nothing and wanted to steal all the money. Because it was kind of weird that all of a sudden both these players had a big hand. But before, on the flop, there wasn't no action at all. I want to call this with a pair of 6s. And another 8. I'm going to bet this if it's been, yeah, it's, you can check. I'm guessing someone has 10 jack and someone has ace high. He has 10 jack, probably, and he's insta folding. He has nothing. Maybe ace king. Best I'm giving is ace king. He's checking. What are the odds? He's checking? What happened in this hand? He raised under the gun. Nope, I don't believe you. And now there's a king. That's nice. Ha, all in. He's raising under the gun. Yeah, maybe he's aces, but... that's really weird. Raising under the gun. Checking the turn, re-raising, re-raising almost. Let's give it to him. Don't like the king really. And he could have an ace-8 or something. Should probably check the turn, but it was such a safe looking card, the 8. Don't really know what to put in on the last hand. Maybe he even had 2 9s and flopped the set and made the full house on the turn, and then decided to check to induce a bluff or something. Don't really think he had nothing. It was like a min raise and then going all in on the river. There wasn't any draw, like, other than 10 jack. Come on, just give it to me. There's nothing you could have on this flop. Thank you. I'm always raising. No matter what the hands. This table is so tight. Oh yeah, this is the last orbit. So, yeah, we made 20 bucks basically, which is nice. If you think about that, we were down 30 already. So making 20 is like one full buy-in that we got back after the first bluff that went wrong. And 20 bucks an hour is not a bad loan, I would say. Let's play this. He probably will be sitting in, and then we get one more hand. If he's not sitting in, then we have to sit out the next. We hit a 4. I want to check this. And a 10, and I don't like this, but I have to bet now. Yeah, okay. And that's not a... well, 102.66, but still. Yeah, well, thank you for watching. I hope you now understand what the importance of the turn is, and I will see you on the next episode to Las Vegas. Okay, bye.